Thing going.
Acts like this very much.
Welcome to
Coffee with toffees.
five, four, three, two, one.
Let's do this.
Good morning and welcome back to Coffee with Toffees, guys. Today is December 15th and I am here with my son Toffees Jr. today for the show. So if you hear the gurgling or the yelling, that's because he's joining me in the studio for this episode of Coffee with Toffees. But without further ado, let's get this thing underway. So my name is Toffees. You can find me at Toffees_Dota2. You can find the replays of the show at SoundCloud, at YouTube, pretty much anywhere. And if you want to support the show, you go to patreon.com/Toffees and choose to give a little and help make it a little more functional for me to get up every morning and make this thing happen. Now, let's talk about news because that's what you're here for. For those of you watching live, we appreciate you being here on Twitch. Those of you listening on Dota FM, we hope you enjoyed it. We followed after by the morning drive. And we also, to those watching on the podcast or listening later on tape, hey, we appreciate your support as well. So the JD winners have been announced officially. The Join Dota Awards... Excuse me, that snuck up on me. The Join Dota Awards are out, so we'll go through them real quick so that you have an idea of who won what. Sportsman of the Year, 26% of the vote goes to Big Daddy, who takes the win home there against a Ice with 20% of the vote. Fear with 18. Best Newcomer goes to Zai at 66.3. Matumba Man and Excalibur way behind with 11 and 12% of the vote. Zai overwhelmingly the favorite, going the distance, though arguably maybe not as much of a beginner or a newcomer as some of the others were. Team of the Year goes to EG, another non-upset there, 52.7% of the vote. VG comes in at 23.1, 14% for newbie. So Join Dota, being that it tends to cater to the Western scene a little bit more and the European scene, really came out to vote for Team EG, who has just been lights out, very consistent, very strong this season, and I'm very impressed with how they performed, and so apparently are all of you. Best Workshop Artist set goes to Deep Magma. The set made by Horse Strangler, Mr. Scrake, and Godzi. It was the Earthshaker set that I think everybody got their hands on and loved, so that was a 19% win over Divine Anchor and Blade Keeper. Winner for Caster of the Year, not a big surprise here. Toby Wan takes home the win with 31.9% of the vote as number one caster, according to JD. Cinderin at 20% was number two. LD was number three at 13.9. Hey, buddy. So that is the winner of the Top Caster Award. I can't say I'm surprised, but a lot of folks are screaming, hey, what about nepotism here? Did Toby win because he works for JD? I don't think that's the case. I think it's because there's not enough hype casters left in the game, and that's my biggest beef right now. Bruno Statsman Carlucci wins Community Figure of the Year, so Action Slacks doesn't even get on the board, unfortunately. 19.1% for Bruno, 16.1% for Suns Fan, and 15.8% for 2GD. And Bruno, they say, steps up because of his inception of the Twitch Double Trouble, his work at Summit, his work with DreamHack. He's done a lot in the community and worked really hard to be where he is, and it seems the fans have responded with 19% of the vote. The Sideline Carry of the Year was a bit closer than the other positions. Kuroki won at 24.5%. Burning was 15.8%. Black at 14.9%. So for Kuroki, still, the KKY we all love comes in at 24.5% as Best Sideline Carry. Best Support Duo of the Year, the winner goes to Puppy and Big Daddy. They took 35% of the vote. Fenrir and Fi were 20, Zai and PPD at 16 and 4. I thought they'd be a little bit higher, but Puppy and Big Daddy show just how much everyone loves the new Team Secret. Mid Player of the Year goes to S4. Arteezy got second place, so S4 won at 21.6%. Arteezy won at 20.1%. Dendy, who would have topped this category a year ago, down at 14.2% in third place. So it was a very close S4 versus Arteezy for the win. Offlaner of the Year does go to EG, though. Universe takes that one at a whopping 32.6%. Ice at 26 and Funnick at an 8.2. So Universe and Ice 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 took home over 50% of the votes between the two of them, and Universe comes out as the big winner. Drama of the year, I thought this was a no-brainer. 28% of you thought the TI ERA going to it was the biggest drama, and I agree with that completely. That was a crazy experience, but Era going to TI was the #1 drama as voted by everyone else. The 322 scandal, which actually lost people money, was #2, and the DK thing didn't even get on there, which sort of blew my mind. Tournament of the year, the Summit wins 31.9% of the vote over the International, got 30.2. I don't know if I fully agree with that. I like the guys who work at the Summit. I think they did a great job in the tournament, but the International, man, I think this was a classic example of contact. When you talk about elections for politics, it's all about when you have last contact with the voters, and this shows exactly what that is, because those who had last contact, man, was the Summit, and they won that vote, so kudos to them. The tribute awards were interesting. Nobody expected this, but what JD did is they gave special awards, sort of like a career award, if you will, to someone. Tributes without not voted on, but decided on by the staff. So best statsman of the year, Alan Nahaz Bester was voted as the best statman by JD staff. He does work for JD much of the time. He's an independent, though, and honestly, I agree with this. No nepotism whatsoever. Phenomenal statman, been in the spotlight the entire time, works for every tournament, every group, always the best information. Big part of starting the Standard Deviant stat crew. Nahaz deserves recognition, and he definitely got it. Sketch artist of the year is Dire Dude. I don't really look at sketching, but from what I understand, his stuff is real good. If you casual Dota is, I guess, his hashtag, and he does it very, very well. Manager of the year, Kelly Milkies, took that one home. And you know what? I think she gets a lot of chaff. I think she gets a lot of insults out there when she tried to do some casting at the Summit. The Twitch spam was outrageous. But I think that she's a good manager. She works hard for her people. She cares for every single one of them. You could see that it viscerally hurt her when she lost players, when people left the team. And I respect that. So she's done a good job. She's had some, what's we're looking for? There's been issues in the past of things on Reddit and a lot of people against it. But at the end of the day, I think that she does a really great job with managing, and she deserves that win. Interviewer of the year, oh, hurts my heart. No, it doesn't. Hotbit does a great job with the interviews. His ability to include sarcasm, get responses, and even do a little bit of trolling really appeals to fans. And as a result, he won the honorary Interview of the Year title. Now, I can't lie to you. I want that next year. So we're going to keep on trucking and see what we can get going in. We do have some interviews coming up here on the show. Corey from Zephyr said he may be returning. He's back in the U.S., and he said he'd be willing to sit down with us here at the show. We also talked to all of the cosplayers from Summit, and they want to come on and talk about cosplay. So we got a couple of big things in the offing before or after I go on my vacation for Christmas. So that is the JD Awards. Moving out of the awards into... let's see, some other interesting information. Here it is. Withdrawals continue. So, Secret has withdrawn from eSportal. Now, remember we talked about EE was tweeting out that we got to do some withdrawals, we got to save Dota, we got to cut down on the tournaments. Well, this is exactly what's continuing to happen. Secret has pulled out of the eSportal Invitational. Basically, Unknown stepped in to cover for them. They didn't win, so it's kind of irrelevant. C9 drops out of Starladder. So Starladder has lost a lot of big teams. C9 is officially out. My Sanity enters and takes over for them. And I tell you what, man, it is definitely looking like the teams are going to make themselves heard. They're going to say, we're not playing if we're not getting what we want. And I will say the Starladder tournament, I think, runs through Christmas, where you'd have to pretty much lose your entire Christmas break if you're in a Western scene to participate in it. And as a result, that probably prompted a lot of these withdrawal movements, but it's definitely sending a bit of a message. So both of them pull out of Starladder or eSportal respectively, and show that there's just too many tournaments in the scene. It's become pretty common knowledge that that is, in fact, the case. Moving on to tournament news. Join Dota Masters is returning on Monday, guys. So this is a prize pool of $15,000. It's an invitational-only event run by JD. The teams competing in this tournament will be Power Rangers, Virtus Pro, Hey United, Sneaky Nix Assassins, Virtus Pro Polar, Hellraisers, 4 Anchors plus Sea Captains, and My Sanity. When I say it starts Monday, I mean it starts right about now. So it will be starting up this afternoon. And we may have some coverage for you in Dota FM. We're still working out what games are going to be on. Either way, we'll be running some updates and music for you guys today, no matter what. So those are the lineups for Dota Masters. Next thing up, Empire edges out, beats VP Polar to win the first Esportal League Invitational. So this is a big one. The way that the Invitational works, Esportal, is they do 3 Invitationals for the pros, 3 for the amateurs, and a winner of each one goes to the LAN. So the first person going to the LAN is Empire, as they beat VP Polar with that brand new carry they just brought on. So that sounds good for them. I've been wanting to see them play late to do well. VP Polar has been on fire, so Empire getting that pass is really, really impressive. So kudos to them, as they did have to beat out. They lost to BBC Cologne and then fought their way back to beat 2-1 on Alliance, and then to beat Empire 3-2. So I'm sorry, Empire went PR MYI, VP Polar, and they actually took PR 0-0 MYI. So like literally trounced everyone until they got to the finals, and then had put up a hard fight against VP Polar, but ultimately got the win. And like I said, that new lineup for them, that carry, I think is really exactly what they needed to start doing this sort of thing. Let's see. MVP Phoenix qualify for the I-League. So I-League passing through Phoenix, goes right through all 4 rounds, does very well for themselves, and ends up passing forward, not losing, into the finals for I-League. So they get the qualifications for that one. Next up is, let's see, CDEC and Invictus Gaming take the top spots for Star Ladder in China. So China tournament ran basically. Star Ladder over there is done, and the winners are CDEC and Invictus Gaming, and they will pass through the Chinese Star Ladder qualifiers, and will go to the actual LAN event from what I understand. So they are ready to go to that. So while everyone else is dropping out of it, the Chinese have already finished playing it, and maybe that's the answer. Is instead of these long drawn-out tournaments, let's just hammer through and get it done fast, the way the Chinese seem to like to do during their Star Ladder experiences. D2L starts, the bubble race starts today. In about 2 hours, Empire will take on Team Tinker, and this is going to be a good game because Empire has their new carry, and like we said, they're doing very well coming off the win against Virtus Pro Polar, and they're going up against Team Tinker, a team who's been a little bit off lately, but's working to fight their way back. Whoever wins that goes on to face SNA, and whoever wins that match goes on to face VP Polar. Whoever wins that goes to the LAN final to join LV Gaming, EG, and CDEC in Vegas for the D2L LAN. So this bubble match is all run today. All 3 of them will happen one after another. Winner joins the LAN, and that's a pretty big push. So this bubble race is going to be a good one. Definitely worth watching. In fact, so worth watching that it is officially my pick of the day. So game of the day, as chosen by yours truly, is going to be the matchup between Team Tinker and PR. And I think that that's going to be a great start. I think that the SNA bout will also be very good. But that first one, I think to watch the new Empire sit down and take on Tinker, who's been trying to make some comebacks, I think is going to be a really great play. But that's it, guys. That's the news we have for you today. If you like the show, remember, follow me at toffees_Dota2. Go over to patreon.com/toffees and support the show and Dota Radio, both in the same place. We got mugs on order. We're waiting on the graphic redesign for the t-shirts, but that'll be out soon. Short, fast, and sweet, because you never know when Toffees Jr. is going to get mad. So far, he seems to enjoy watching you guys watch us, and that's actually pretty gosh darn cute. So that said, guys, if you're on Dota FM, stick around. We'll have music in a second. If you're watching on Twitch TV or any of the replays, we appreciate you being here. Have a great day. Play more Dota. And as always, Toffees out.